have very brief stints, not lived in Silicon Valley. So this idea of driving innovation, I don't know how you drive innovation. And specifically, I think you foster and you sort of throw wind at a flame of innovation more than you have to basically get a set of people together and be like, yeah, let's go innovate. I do think that there are two things about Silicon Valley's culture that create an environment of innovation, though. One is that typically people are taught to ask, and what is celebrated is asking forgiveness, not permission. And the more that you go and just do something, it's celebrated. Where I think in other places, and again, I'm not totally sure, because I haven't worked in a lot of other places, that it's about following a process. And I have seen as companies get bigger and sort of lose that same entrepreneurial energy, it's that movement from, we are a culture that asks for, that you just go do stuff and you ask for forgiveness, not permission, to moving to a culture that asks for permission. The other thing that I think is pretty profound about Silicon Valley is that most of the people that I've been surrounded by tend to ask the question, how is this going to disrupt the world? How is this going to be big? And essentially you get trained to sort of think in a mindset of, well, if this doesn't actually create, if we can't get 100 million people to use this within 6 months, then we might as well not even try. And that kind of energy and that kind of mindset, which basically says, how do we make this bigger? How do we make this more disruptive? I think is something that again, I'm not positive, but may be unique to this strange valley and sort of confluence of having San Francisco, 2 major research universities, and growing up with the defense and semiconductor industry sort of all at the same time. So it's like this weird combination of hippies and engineers and engineer hippies and all sorts of things in between. But I do think that these are the two big things that capture what I think makes this place pretty special today.
Thanks, Gina. And so, would you agree that it's a combination of how do you disrupt, how do you make this bigger, and ask for forgiveness and not seek permission? Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely these are very important elements, and the element of scale on which I will touch on again. I also would like to move it a little bit. The Silicon Valley is a little bit less about innovation in my side on my book than it is about new enterprise creation. So innovation translates immediately to new enterprise creation. So if the engineer at Cisco has the greatest new idea for the new switch, he doesn't go to Larry Chambers and say, well, I have this great idea. He goes out and starts a company, okay, which promotes economic development, okay? So it's really about new enterprise creation. And many things are not invented in Silicon Valley. I mean, the internet was not invented in Silicon Valley, right? I mean, it was invented in Switzerland, right? But Switzerland didn't make the biggest economic advantage of it, okay? Silicon Valley did, because Silicon Valley is a factory of new enterprises. What the fundamental skill of Silicon Valley is how do we build a new enterprise, put it together, and make it an attempt at creating a new leader in the marketplace. That's the essence of Silicon Valley. The second thing which Gina touched on, which is very, very important, is scale. So you always look for scale. Silicon Valley is not about creating small companies. Silicon Valley is about creating big companies or fail in the process, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Fail and start again.